Guys, welcome back to my channel. Mommy loves to read. I'm Olivia and thank you for joining me today. So guys, I'm here today to film a video. Finally. It has been forever and a day since I've filmed a video, and I'm so happy to come to you guys and film this with you. So I am going to talk about the books that I plan on finishing by the end of the year. We're in the home stretch, the end of the year, and these are the books that I definitely will finish by the end of the year. I'm done with school. I finished my last final yesterday. I got all good grades this semester, so I'm doing my happy dance. Let's take a minute for that. Woo, woo, woo. I passed my classes. And I was like gonna do like a mini semester during the like Christmas break, but I said that wasn't a good idea. So, I don't have any classes until like mid-January. So I get to read, and I'm so excited. So I have 3 books that I plan on finishing by the end of the year. When I was grabbing like all my books, I thought it was really funny that these 3 books, there's like 3 things about these 3 books. So I think it was meant to be. One, each one of these books, I started reading them and they kind of have like a story behind them or like sentimental value. So I thought that was really cool. The other thing is I have started reading each one of these books. If you can see, I'm going to hold them here. I don't want to show you just yet. Each one of these books has a bookmark in it because I have started each one of them and I just haven't finished with school and everything this semester. It's been really busy, and so I haven't had as much time to read. And so I've been reading here and there, but I haven't really finished them. And so yes, that's why I said this month I'm going to finish them. So without further ado, let me start sharing these books with you. So the first book that I would definitely be finishing this year is called Raising Free People, and it is by Akilah S. Richards. You guys, this book is so good. I am currently on chapter 5. And every time I read this book, I like sit down and read it, and I start reading it and I'm like, I don't want to put it down, but like I only had a 10-minute chunk of time. And it's because this book is full of so many gems. I came upon reading this book because I listened to her podcast. If you're someone that loves podcasts, like, what are you waiting for? Go find her podcast. It's called Fare of the Free Child, and I just love it. It's so amazing. Just like her podcast, every time I listen to the podcast, there's like gems. Like I need to have a notebook as I'm listening to the podcast so I can like write down what she's saying, because she'll say something and I'm like, oh my God. Like I need to rewind it and play it again. And this book is the same way. As I'm reading it, so many things happen and I'll be like, I need to like reread that a second time, because like I'll read it and I'll be like, oh my God, like that, oh my gosh. Like it was so much. Even today at work, I was reading and like, I don't know if you guys can see, but I was like highlighting. And I'm going to read it to you guys really quick what I highlighted. You see I highlighted the whole paragraph, right? I'll read it to you because it was just so amazing and I didn't have anyone to share it with today because I was at work. And so I'm sharing with you guys. It says, I walked the grounds of both colonizer and colonized, using the ways colonizers had affected the adults who raised me to now attempt to raise my children. Hitting my children, seeing them as property in some ways, silencing their voices to the benefit of my own, presenting them to the world in ways that made me and the world comfortable without prioritizing how it made my children feel. This is when I began to realize that as unschoolers, my children's resistance is often my roadmap, not only to parenting, but also to my own decolonization efforts, my own liberation work. Like, guys, did you hear that? Like, when I read this paragraph, I had to read it again because I was like, hold up, wait, whoa. I read it again. Then I had to get my little highlighter and highlight and write my own little thoughts. Like, this book is so great. And I feel like I said, I feel like all 3 of these books that I will finish, I'm not trying, I'm going to speak it out, that I will finish, are so significant to me. And they all, like, came to me at a time when I needed it most. And so that's what makes it really just, like, special to me. And this book is just, oh, it's like a breath of fresh air. It's a book that I needed, and I feel like I would recommend this book if you're a parent, if you're not a parent, if you're just trying to feel liberated and free in your own little adult life. Get this book and get your life, and thank me later. And I feel like this book was really meant to be, because when I first heard about this book, I had put it in my Amazon cart, and Amazon told me it wasn't going to be here till like January, and I was like, oh my gosh. And this was back in like June or July, and I was listening to an episode of the podcast, and she was saying how if you wanted to order her book, it was out. And I was like, well, duh, I know that because I put it in my Amazon cart. But she was like, if you try to order from Amazon, they're not shipping it till like January. But if you order it from PM Press, you can get it immediately. And you guys, I like paused that podcast so quick. I got on PM Press, ordered my book, and I got it like less than a week later. And it was like, yes, guys, this book was meant to be. And so if you're looking for an amazing book, I would recommend this book. It's so good. Here it is so you guys can see, and definitely one I will be finishing by the end of the year, okay? My next book is called You're the Only One I've Told, The Stories Behind Abortion. And you guys, this is another one of those books. I was on Goodreads one day looking through books, trying to enter some giveaways that I don't never win on Goodreads. But anyways, I entered a giveaway for this book because when I read what it was about, I was like, ooh, that sounds so interesting. I didn't win. Another, put it in my Amazon cart. I didn't really forget about it. It was kind of staying in the back of my head. But like I said, I'm in school this semester. You know, I have 3 kids and I'm adulting. I have a house, a car, all these things. And all those things cost money, money, money. Especially those 3 little people that call me mom. And so every time I wanted to order this book, I was like, I can't afford it. I can't afford it. And I was so upset. But I would like go in my wish list and just kind of keep looking, And one day I had went on and I noticed that the price had went down to like a price that I could afford. And you guys, I clicked that buy button so quick. I was like, whoo, whoo, whoo. And it came the next day. Thank you, Amazon. And you guys, like when I first heard about this book, I still don't really know why I felt called to this book, but I feel like it was a book that it was meant for me to read because it just has been on my mind since I heard about it. And you guys, I've started this book. I am on page, I'm on page 86. And it's so good. So this book pretty much, a little bit about, it's about a doctor, and she is an abortion doctor. And she has been doing this like her whole career. And she was just talking about how she never really told people what she did. She would just say like, I work in reproductive health. And they would automatically assume she was an OBGYN, and that was it. Because she was saying there's so much stigma and like negative publicity and all those things behind like abortion. And one day she was in a Target and she had her purse and she forgot to take her stethoscope out. And so a lady in the store saw it and she was like, oh, you're a doctor. And they kind of started talking, and she was like, the lady asked what she did, and she like had this like come to Jesus moment where she was like, I can tell her what I really do, or I can just do what I always do and just be like, oh, I work in reproductive health. So she was honest and she told the lady like, I'm an abortion doctor. And she said the lady looked at her and her eyes kind of got big and she was like, oh my God, you know, she was in Texas. So she was definitely like, you know, I live in Texas. So, you know, people are really here or there. And so she was ready for this woman to just like attack her. And she said the total opposite happened. The woman looked at her and she like got really low and she like whispered and told her like, I've had 2 abortions. And she was like, oh, okay. And she was like, and I've never told anyone, like my husband doesn't know. And it was just this amazing moment. And then over the loudspeaker, they were like, we're closing in 5 minutes. You need to come pay for your purchases. So she went her way and the lady went her way. And they never spoke again. And she said in the back of her head, she was always thinking like, wow, I wish I could have heard this lady's story, because she was like in her 50s or 60s, the lady who said this. So obviously she had been holding that inside for so long. And so she said after that, she really felt liberated. And so when people asked her what she did, she started telling them. And all these women were coming to her and telling her their stories of how they had had abortions. And that is how she came about writing this book. And it's just all the different women's experiences. And once again, I don't know why I felt so called to read this book, but the stories that I have read have just been like so eye-opening and so just like taught me so much. This is definitely a book like when I went into it, I didn't know what to expect, but I am learning so much. It's such a good book. It's so full of just like, what's the word? Need to know information. And so if you're looking for a good book to read before the end of the year that will really like impart some wisdom in you, I would say read this book. It's so good. Like I said, I'm not done, but I know I will finish. And every story that I have read so far has like touched me in a different way. And so I'm really excited to finish this book, and I think it's going to be amazing. And then my last book that I am going to finish this year is a book by Toni Morrison. And if you haven't read a book by Toni Morrison, what are you doing? Go out, go buy one, go get one from the library, whatever you need to do, read one. If you don't have time to read it before the end of the year, it needs to be a book. Any of her books need to be on your TBR for next year, 2021, because her books are amazing. And like I was saying in the book, in the beginning, all 3 of these books have like sentimental value. I think I told you the 2, but I didn't say the 3rd. So the 3rd reason why is I forgot the 3rd reason. Anyways, I'm gonna tell y'all, it was in my head, but I forgot. So we're just gonna start with the Toni Morrison book, okay? So I'm reading Toni Morrison, and this is Song of Solomon. And if you guys watched one of my videos, it's not the last one I posted, but the one before that was a Friday Reads. I was saying I was planning on reading this book, and this book has like significant value because that's my third reason. Okay, guys, sorry, like ADHD. The third reason why all these books I feel like were meant for me to read is I feel like I am a big believer of like divine intervention and spirit speaking to you. And I feel like spirit brought all three of these books to me at a time when I needed it most. I didn't know I needed it, but as I have opened each one of these books and started reading, they have just been ministering to me and blessing me in so many ways beyond what I ever thought. And that's just what I love about books. You can learn so much, and like, books are just, they can help you through every stage in life. So yes, back to the Toni Morrison book. This book I actually found at my grandparents' house. My grandmother recently passed away, and when I went over there to help my mother and my grandfather clean out her back room, that's what she called it, I found this book in a drawer that had nothing to do with books. Like, I don't even know why it was there, but I feel like it was meant for me to find it. Like, my grandma left that there for me. Spirit left that there for me. It was meant for me to read. And you guys, this book has been so good. I am on page 137, so I'm working my way through. Actually, when I'm done filming this video, this is the book I'm gonna read. I read this book earlier at work, and I'm gonna read this book tonight. And y'all, this book has just been so good. It's so amazing following this milkman and his kind of story, how he's growing up. And I'm excited to continue this journey with this book and see what it is that I get from this book. Because like I said, I feel like it was meant for me to read this book, and I just can't wait to come back and talk with you guys about what this book has done for me and taught me and all those good things. So yes, guys, here are the 3 books that I plan on finishing by the end of the year. I know I will. And like I said, all 3 of these books have like some kind of sentimental value to me. I feel like they were brought to me for a reason. And I feel like all 3 of these books, like, they just came to me. Like I said, with this one, I was planning on not getting it till sometime in January. And then I heard on the podcast that if I bought it from PM Press, I could get it, and I got it. This book I found in my grandmother's back room, so it was meant for me to find. And just like for context, if you haven't watched this video, my other video, my grandma was not like a big reader. So it's not like she had like this big bookshelf where it was like, well, duh, Olivia, you're going to find a book. All she does is read. She had no other books in her house. So it was meant for me to find this book. And then this wonderful book, I kept seeing it but couldn't afford it. And then I had a price drop, and I literally bought it. And then when I actually went back like on my Amazon, because you know you can see things, the price had went up. So I was like, it was meant for me to get this book. So yes, guys, thank you for joining me. I am so happy I was able to make a video. I've been wanting to make videos. I'm not going to call this Vlogmas or anything, one, because I missed the first 8 days. We're on day 9. But I will try to film a lot of videos for you guys in this month of December, because I only have 1 week of work left. Yes. And the kids will be out, and I will be out. So we're going to make it through this year. So all my people that work in education, hold on. We only got to do Zoom classrooms for 1 more week, and then we are free. No more Zoom for a few weeks, and we'll be able to read and drink lots of hot chocolate and coffee and wine and bake cookies and all those fun things. So yes, my friends, leave some comments down below. Let me know what you're reading, what your goals are to read for the end of the year. If you have read any of these books or you plan on reading these books, comment down below and let me know. I would love to talk about it. Like I said, I'm not done with any of these books, but I definitely have started each one of them, so I can give like a little input here and there. And until next time, guys, bye. Have a great night.